Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on Daybreak Extra. Now, it is a very great coincidence that 21st September, which of course is the D-Day for Edo election, happens to be the International Day of Peace. Now, it was established in 1981 by the United Nations General Assembly. Now, 2 decades later, which is in 2001, the General Assembly unanimously voted that it should be designated a day as a period of non-violence and ceasefire. So I'm using this, of course, as an avenue to push for peace, to push for non-violence, election and poll in Edo State. Please, wherever you are, do stay safe. Now let's kickstart this segment by taking a look at the Weekend Trust this Saturday, where it is full packed. Major story, of course, is on Edo election, where it says the D-Day for Edo. Threats of violence, intra-party crisis may shape the outcome. Now, this is one of the rider there. We've seen how, all of these things have been unraveling in Edo State, where there have been a lot of drama, not only, inter-party, but we're having party within the parties. There seems to be a lot of crisis. Another writer is saying we will accept results if, that is PDP, APC, LP give conditions. Now, there's been a lot of controversy amongst these parties. So far we have 17 candidates, about 16 male and 1 female. Yes, the percentage on the equality and equity is still not adding up, but at least we have 1 female there. But then we know major parties are the LP, APC, and the PDP. And so far, even when it comes to the peace accord, the PDP did not sign. So people keep giving conditions for certain situations. Another writer is talking about respect the voters' will. That's according to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu telling politicians. INEC police upbeat, residents express mixed reactions. Yes, we have also been following up on the preparation, the fear, the predictions of what this day would bring, and there seem to be mixed reactions. We brought experts this week Monday, and the fear is we still have a long way to go when it comes to our INEC's readiness, and we saw how the Beavers, the IRF situation unraveled in the 2023 election, and there is that fear. And we know how the fact that Edo is in one part is in the part of the riverine state. There was a lot of election materials not reaching the polls. So those are all concerns that of course we are going to address. But yes, on that, talking about the D-Day, we have our correspondent Jonathan Anwai in Edo State to give us an update on the situation this morning as the people of Edo prepare for the coming, of course, poll. Good morning, Jonathan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to hear from you. So give us a picture of what is going on around you right now.
Presently we are at Akwepe Primary
in
School in Asokon West local government area. It's
past it already.
past it already. We are the rack center. Materials are currently being distributed.
It's quite a rainy day.
A rainy day, and one would have expected that materials would have been distributed earlier than now. But we are having issues with vehicles transporting the material from the rack center to the various polling units. That's the situation here.
Officers around you, and even the staff of the INEC. But then, what is the level of security that you can see, and how would you say this is given the right feel when it comes to securing people and the polls and the electoral materials?
At the moment, I would say the security architecture is okay. We have
a couple of policemen in various
areas.
As early as 7 a.m. we are blocked, and then at the rack center and a bit at the polling units, we have a couple of policemen too.
who are waiting for materials to arrive so that they can take it up from there. Here at the RAC Center, we have a couple of policemen too on both sides of the primary school securing the materials.
Okay, let's talk about the turnout so far. We know it's still early, but we know how this is a very, serious election. It's not just some kind of a child play. It's the governorship. So how are people's turnout now? What are the numbers like?
Okay, the last turnout, a lot of persons came out despite the rain. Despite the rain, a lot of persons came out. Even at the RAC Center, they are expecting that the materials will move from here to their polling units where they will exercise their franchise. There are so many of them here. Some of the polling units where we visited earlier today, we saw some elderly ones. We saw about 40 persons. In some areas, we met some persons, about 40, some 70, waiting to commence the process of voting.
All right, it's past 8 now, and they seem to be still setting up all of this. And from what you mentioned, there are other polling units that have not yet, started setting up. Is there any fear that it could start late and end, late, run into the early hours of, tomorrow?
At the moment, I would say that it's expected that voting should commence in another 30 minutes. Most of the polling units have already been distributed, and I'm sure they are on their way to the point of voting. So I want to expect that another 20 minutes from now, voting will commence.
All right, Jonathan, do you have any updates when it comes to, the other parts of Edo on what is going on? Are the scenes the same as, where you are presently?
I understand that in some areas of the state, voting commenced early, and I'm also aware that this area could also be attributed to the bad road. The road network within the area is affecting the distribution. So this could also be one of the reasons why it's late here. But in some of the areas where we have good roads, I want to believe that from what I learned, voting has commenced.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, thank you so much. We'll definitely reach out where you get to keep us up to speed, in terms of this voting, and hope that you stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, basically that is what is going on in Edo. We'll definitely keep you up to speed with the update. And for people in Edo, please do stay safe as, of course, the election is ongoing. Well, I have... Of course, before we continue into the segment, I have my co-anchor Fatima Musa. Good morning.
Why are you thinking before you say Fatima?
Because I said I should let her, introduce herself.
Oh, yeah. I am actually Fatima Ahmed Musa, so thank you for not introducing me, by the way. And it's good to see you.
It's absolutely lovely to see you.
It's actually nice to see that the election is actually kind of peaceful. Nothing is happening. I was reading about it earlier. Well, it's good that we have update at least from someone.
Indeed. And we hope, the most important thing is that people stay safe. At the end of the day, while we're pushing for great growth of the country and the state of Edo, we want the people to be alive and healthy to witness that. So please, wherever you are, do stay safe. Now, moving back to the weekend trust at the bottom of the page there. Let's talk about the pictorial first. There is the 3 major candidates of the APC, LP, and the PDP there. And there's been a talk of saying most of them are technocrats. These are people that have their day jobs. So if at all it doesn't work out, they can easily swap back from that. So below that, we see Jonathan could have won 2015 election. That's according to Dr. Bello Haliru Muhammad. You find that on page 39. Now, even I am curious as to why he thinks, the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, could have won the 2015 election. So, in order to understand, the brain or where he's coming from, you can pick the Weekend Trust and check page 39. Beside that, we see 28 students killed, 78 kidnapped in 20 months. This sad story you find on page 4. It is really, really scary for the younger generation out there, where we keep pushing, saying education is the key for a better future, and they get attacked, on different and several occasions. Below the headmask there, we see Barrow hails Tinubu for conversion of the FCE's Kano, Zaria to universities of education. You find that on page 18. We have beside there also Bello Abdusalami Danjuma Tinubu in the news today. You know how, of course, Weekend Trust brings you the download of what happened all through the week. So you find that on page 16, while these people were mentioned this week. And there's Dirty Calls Murik to order. Now, these are some of the stories that you would find on the Weekend Trust this Saturday. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the Guardian this morning. All right, let's move to the Guardian newspaper this morning. It says that the major story, it's about the Edo decides, where it says anxiety in Igodalo, Okpebolo, and Akpata camps as voters cast their ballots. Now, this, of course, are the major candidates that have the limelight on their face. At the bottom of the Guardian, there we see Southwest politicians lip service to development. This is an inside stuff. Of course, you can find that story on the Guardian newspaper. This is talking about, politicians perhaps just making promises and not fulfilling these promises, and the portion or the limelight has been shined on the Southwest politicians, where promises are not really kept. It's just about making, promises over and over again. But I would say it's not just, the Southwest. But if you want to get details of that, you can find that on the Guardian. Below the headmask there, we see clash of godfathers over power shift in Edo. Now, we've been seeing, of course, that tussle between Adams Oshomale and, of course, the governor of Edo, Obaseki, where everybody wants to just exert and show their own level of power. You get details on that on page 7, 8, and 9, and on the health page, how counterfeit drugs fuel healthcare nightmare for Nigerians. That is really scary. First of all, until now, experts cannot even tell you how some major diseases are contracted. We're talking about, cancer. A lot of diseases cannot be explained. There are a lot of, female gender diseases that women do that we do not even know how all of this, how people get this disease. But then to now know that apart from other things that we consume, even the drugs that we consume could actually put us at risk, because it is a bad drug, it is counterfeit, it is really scary. So please, we need to be extra careful. We want the law enforcement, the people, the agencies in charge of making sure that we consume good products and good drugs, do the needful. Well, these are the stories that you find on the Guardian Weekend today.
Well, a lot is happening actually.
Indeed.
So
Indeed.
Everywhere is just about the election right now.
Of course, all eyes. That's the thing about the off-cycle election, where it's not like the general election. So it's just being keen on particular states, and we get to see how we get to see a smaller portion of what happened in a bigger election. So yes, all eyes is in Edo, and we hope everyone is staying safe. I can't overemphasize
we hope
that.
to see a better result and peaceful elections. All right, so let's take a look at the Saturday Tribune this morning. It says the major story: IGP locks down Edo as governor poll holds today. Tinubu Jonathan calls for peace. Accord party candidates withdraws. Running mate takes over. Well, you can find all these details on page 4. Now, new minimum wage may take effect from July 29th. That will be maybe next year. Because I'm seeing July actually. Well, go through page 5 for more details.
Interesting. I mean, I don't have anything to say about this. I just want to get the details.
So that's exactly. So it's actually a bit confusing. Sort of, because July has passed, so definitely it could be the July for next year.
Okay, could be. Yes. No, I think it should be this July.
So July has passed.
No. I know July has passed, but it would take effect. You know when they say to take effect, that would be because Nigerians were already thinking that there is going to be an arrears payment. So
yeah, because
people
of
were
the back and forth,
exactly.
It started
so people were assuming
earlier.
It was going to start perhaps maybe January or April. So but I think they are going to start from July. So you know they'll backtrack and pay from that July.
Well, we hope it takes place because I've been seeing the ministers coming out with the committees set up for this implementation to take place. So we are just waiting to see what happens. Actually, so we hope something good comes out of it. Even though activists are saying that the 70,000 cannot take,
of course not,
anyone anywhere.
Do not forget, Fatima, this agreement was done with the fact, with the thing in mind that the fuel pump price was about 700 or 617 naira, but now it is almost 900.
Yes,
so
886 thereabouts.
Exactly, and we've seen the labor union come out to say why they agreed to that agreement was because the president promised that there was not going to be increase in fuel price.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we already know it was not really a good deal for Nigerians, but it's done, and we have to wait and put our hope on the government to make sure they move things forward the right way.
So we fingers crossed. Let's go back to the page of I didn't come to look for your money, I came to work, Tinubu says. Well, you can find that details on page 5. I mean,
go, Mr. President.
He's actually, it's good to see that he's actually saying that. I was, casting my mind back to certain videos that I was seeing when the renewed hope was actually started, the slogan, and all that. So we hope that we wait and see what he's going to do. Yes. So let's wait and see what happens.
Mr. President, we
know that he's not after our money because he has tons of it. So he shouldn't come after our money, please.
But it's scary, though, Fatima, the fact that our president has to come out to say, "I'm not after your money." It's scary that politicians truly are after the money sometimes.
Some of them.
Sometimes that the president have to put his foot forward to say, "I am not part of those group that you're thinking."
They somehow, everyone needs to be accounted for something. If you are not part of it, it's okay for you to come out to say you're not part of it. Because these people are grown, right? They make decisions themselves. They don't ask certain people for certain decisions that they make. They are all grown-up politicians, grandfathers, and our forefathers, some of them, because we
don't need forefathers anymore.
Yeah, actually, because some of them have been there, like people like Buhari have fought so many wars.
Well, Mr. President, message to you from Nigerians: please renew that hope for Nigerians.
I'm always hopeful. Don't
people are hungry.
Yeah. So page 5 has more details. Tinubu believes he knows it all. He takes no advice. Lagos Deputy Governor Bukono Akerele. Now that is. It's
funny how this is coming immediately after the president said this, but yes, I believe funny enough, I believe a president should have a bit of standpoint, authority, maybe not too much, because the moment I remember that was the thing that people accused former President Goodluck Jonathan to be someone that was easily pushed or swayed, saying people can easily tell him what to do. Then Buhari came, and he came really stern and firm, and then people are saying, oh, Buhari is so stubborn, he does not listen. And then
every president that comes and goes, the rumor that he doesn't listen. So I don't think it's a new thing.
No. For some listen too much, so it's like you don't.
And then the thing is, when you listen, citizens will still say that he's allowing them to use him. He's listening to his people. He doesn't do what his Nigerians are telling him to do. But we always forget that he has to work with these people to implement the things that they want to implement.
I just believe that he should be stand for firm on something.
Well, there are times that he may not come out to say, I'm against this, but then definitely,
from his
there's always going to be So page 16 and 17 has more details, and above the belt you see IUVC says 3,283 students who applied for NEL fund loans will be allowed to write exams. Fee payment portal closes, so the payment portal has closed or is about to close. So the people that have applied for the funds are going to be allowed to write these exams, even if maybe they have not been able to access the money yet to pay for their school fees. And also, I think this is a good one.
Yeah.
And then you can find that details on page 20. Circular roads. We won't touch houses in densely populated areas. Or your government says, and the writer says, previous government acquired gazetted 500 million setback. Makinde government hasn't acquired extra square meter. Well, so this is about the road. If you want to know more details on that, you can go through page 6 for more details. And that's it for the Tribune this morning.
All right, let's go to the Saturday Vanguard, where major story is still on the Edo Guber. Who succeeds Obaseki? I mean, that is the question there, where there is Igodalu, Akpata, and Okpebelo in battle royale. How election will be won and lost. Now, this all of these details you'd find on page 7. At the top of the page there we see health. Drinking from plastic bottles can raise your blood pressure. That's according to study. I mean, Nigerians were very good with drinking directly from the bottle. So please, and now from what study is saying, we should drink, maybe using your cup perhaps. And if we are to emulate the Western world like we want to or we do, then we definitely see them putting the water to the cup first before taking it. But then, of course, I always encourage people to acquire knowledge themselves so you can make your own research and get an understanding on this. I deserve death, but I beg for a second chance. Now, teenager admits after killing churchmate. Okay. Yes, there is. In Nigeria, I don't know, with the human rights, we don't do punishable or extreme punishment like capital punishment. But yes, you deserve the biggest, and there should no be that. I don't believe in second chance for someone who thinks of killing someone. You have to pay. I
was just saying this morning, having a conversation. And I was telling the person bringing me, I was like, you just see people walking on the street and you think they are normal, but they're actually not normal. Some are actually serial killers. You just haven't come across them yet, because we have seen a lot of people that have been in the hands of some of this, bloodthirsty killers and whatever. I mean, yesterday there was a video of a girl that was rescued in a hotel where my mom sent me the video. I was shocked because how did I even know that the guy was even trying to use her for ritual? Because he has pulled her off naked and tied her up
in a hotel.
Then she was rescued at the end and she was in shock.
I mean, so tomorrow you would not go back.
We are waiting to see what the outcome of the rescue and what the situation is going to be like. I will show you the video.
This is a scary situation, Fatima.
Yeah, so
let's not forget the one that another teenager.
Yeah, this is going to be like the third one in 1 month.
In just a span of barely 2 to 3 weeks.
Yes.
And this, I saw this video of where the police went to check on the body of this
lady that was
a very
body parts. And how
horrific picture.
Yeah. How crazy is it that you meet someone online and you so believe the person to tell you to kill someone and you still went ahead to do that? And then they sent you a driver all the way from Ibadan with a calabash and what have you to put the body parts that you've actually cut out of this girl.
It's actually really
crazy.
Scary, honestly, and I do not believe people like this deserve second chance, because for you to cross from a sane human being to a point where you feel you have to kill someone.
I mean, I don't know how you can actually live with thinking of killing a human being.
Exactly, like you, as though you're slaughtering chicken.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, away from that disheartening situation, we have 1 million naira reward to 26 military men who killed terror kingpin Poor. All right. That should be a good reward, so that is okay. We find out on page 13. Cheers as Emenalo transforms Saudi Football League in just 2 years. That sports story is on page 14. At the bottom of the page there we see still on the Edo election, where there is the word the do or die race. Now this word was said by, and I quote, by the present governor of Edo, Obaseki. It might not be what he meant, but then in the aggression of it, that's why leaders need to be extra careful with what they say. He said this is a do or die race. So all eyes is on INEC and on the police, any security agents, and sister agents that are there, all eyes are on them. 17 factors that may jeopardize today's election. You get that details, of course, on page 8. Edo, the past, present, and potential intrigues. That's on page 10. How INEC can rescue its battered image. That's according to Yaga Africa. Now, Yaga Africa is pointing out, saying, INEC, you're already on the bad side of Nigerians, so make sure you do better this time. You find that on page 9. And beside that, we'll see pictorial of Destiny Etiko, the actress, knowing that this is a feature. I recently saw her, talking on live about how she creates her stories herself and give details of this, and I was really impressed, saying, okay, I mean, you have to have that level of creativity to be a producer, in general. But then, yeah, these are some of the stories that you would find on the Saturday Vanguard.
All right, so let's take a look at the last newspaper today, which is the Punch. And then the major story is about the Edo polls, still, talking about how the Igadalu and Ekpeboho are actually fighting Apata, battling for 2.2 million votes today. I mean, we just had the update from our reporter out there on the field. So we'll still be bringing updates, much later on this. And it's where, do you think they're going to get this 2.2 million votes across? Because two people to 3 are fighting for
about 3. We hope so, though. We hope, Edo people, at least we know that
they know who they want to choose
of them
at the end.
Is not 2.2, but then the registered ones coming out to vote at 2.2. And we hope, with the rain and the fear of flood, the INEC doing the right thing, we get make it easy for these voters to come out and vote. But then, the people of Edo, I trust their judgment. I trust that with everything going on, they will get to choose the right leader for themselves.
At the end of the day, they know who they want to choose. Indeed. The writer says IG orders movement restrictions definitely is needed at this point because you never can tell what will happen. PDP raises the alarm over hijack. Definitely at the end, when there's polls, elections, or protests or anything, there's always people waiting to hijack.
Already, I've heard,
rumors,
some rumors. Yes.
So, but you can find out details on page 4, and then below it says stabbing Ogun leprosy community cries for help as robbers loot homes. Like, this is so sad. Just going through the stories, you can see the pictorial of this old, I'm sure, retiree that is going through this leprosy. It's actually a disease that nobody would want to actually,
associate with you. Yes, and so they create a community, and then people go to
where they just keep them. I think it's even better that way. So it rescues and takes other people away from
contracting the disease. I understand, but then it is really sad that they're already vulnerable.
Yes, and then you're looting them and all.
Perhaps there should be more security. It's just like the situation where visiting the IDP camps and you realize that these people in the IDPs are crying that they are being raped. So it becomes more sad when vulnerable people are still taken advantage of. So please, we hope,
a lot is actually happening.
People,
talking about
authority do something.
Talking about all these IDPs. I mean, I remember a story a couple of years when I went to cover one of the IDPs, and a young man was actually shot. By armed robbers that came to attack them in the middle of the night.
IDPs?
Yes, he was in the camp, his tent and all that, and he was shot. He was sleeping, but he was shot actually.
Oh my God!
But it's actually sad that you always get to go through all that, So, you can find that details on page 21. Tinubu's minister under fire for alleged link with bandits. Now, the issue with the Matawale and what have you, it's still ongoing. I don't really have much to say about that. But if you want to have more details on that, you can check page 8 for more details. And then fan raises concern over Zelensky's appearance and career. I mean, the guy is just looking so...
I don't know, picture.
Should I say exhausted? Should I say
exhausted? He looks mentally and physically drained. Yes.
Exactly.
He does not look fresh. He does not look like himself. He looks like someone that has suffered years of, and this is just within a period of one year. Because
after
before the Mohbad situation, he was so fresh. His career was on top of the game and all of that. But then people associating his look to drugs, which is alleged. But then, you know, we know that drugs is one of the things that could quickly ruin your life.
Especially if you're, for some of them that we've had encounters, they take this and they don't eat. Yeah. So it actually has a way of killing whatever. Because I've actually had a conversation with a doctor where he says, for those that abuse drugs, actually they're killing the metabolism for them to increase their need for food. The immune system, it kills it. So if at all you want to do stuff like that, you need to eat. But then a lot of them don't eat, and the reason why you see them drained and looking unkept and what have you. So I mean, I'm sure, and
people are
for some it's not actually
stay
good.
Away from it. Please
for some their system doesn't accept, but they keep pushing.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's actually that's when they kill. That's when they kill themselves.
But it's really bad, and we hope the family of and friends of this. Let's keep pay attention to him. And
keep in touch
if
with
he
him.
Needs rehab, then he should be in rehab.
Well, you can find details on page 16. I cried when teachers labeled me disabled, money waster, graduate with cerebral palsy. Well, this is sad because actually I saw a bit of the story yesterday, but then I was carried away with other things. I didn't really pay attention. But it's actually sad that you label someone that way. And when
I feel funny enough here. We've come a long way. Let's be honest. We've come a long way. There are certain things that before we say it casually, but now there are better ways for it. And the before we'll say someone is blind, but then they change it to so no, let's call them visually impaired. Because it sounds more should I say wise? Yes,
and it doesn't discriminate.
As insult or something. So we've come a long way, and as much as we keep using the disabled and
even the disabled are now being they are somehow you don't say disabled or disabilities anymore, you say people with special needs. So that way it doesn't that they have special needs.
So,
that's why
perhaps we just need more
to push
awareness, more sensitization on particular words to use in order not to hurt.
She's still looking beautiful regardless. I mean, so find her details on page 11. Yes. And then Labour kicks as FG backdates minimum wage payments to July. That just like we were just saying, I was like, it's a bit confusing. So it's been backdated to July, like I earlier said. And then Tinubu says, I'm not after your money. Tinubu tells Nigerians again. I know that's
it's still the same thing. I am not after your money.
Please don't be after my money.
I don't have enough.
Yes. Well, you can find details on page 27, I beg your pardon. I realized my relationship was abusive after the first slap, Mona Lisa Stevens says. You can find details on page 17. I mean, it's good to understand the red flags and just zoom off. You don't need to wait for another slap. Then from slap it goes to kicking.
I even believe before the slap there were signs too.
Yeah, but she might have maybe felt since it has not gotten to this level. Yeah. There's a feeling and belief that maybe he's going to change the toxic behaviors and what have you. But then
at least it's good. She creates controversy with each podcast she visits. So, for people out there in an abusive relationship, it's a no-no. If you truly believe you have to stick with that person, then get family members, clerics, and religious clerics and all that to talk to that person. But if it gets super violence, please run. No, it does. If it gets violence, run away.
Not super.
Right? Not super.
The super is
run
making
away.
it look.
Yeah, run away.
Well, find details on page 17. I am a chosen. Can forms over exam malpractice testimony. Rather, those mocking our testimony ignorant, says church.
Well, okay. I don't blame him for fuming over this. This is the most ridiculous thing. I don't know if you have been following that I am chosen thing, where you see people on
making
WhatsApp,
comedies with it. Are you chosen? Are you chosen?
I am chosen. Where you say this 3 times and then
I'm chosen. I'm chosen. Never bring who are you?
And
something like that.
See, I honestly, as much as some people are making fun of it, I believe that Nigerians believe this, and we are more vulnerable because of the poor state of our economy. The people are poor, so whatever opportunity you come with, quick money thoughts, people are rushing to it and are believing it. We believe things like this. First of all, we're a religious country, so we know that if you pray, you're expected to get. If it doesn't come, then perhaps that is not meant for you. Another blessing comes. But then for you to just believe a word that comes and it's like an initiation, you start doing, I am chosen, it is ridiculous. So I don't blame Can, for people using exam malpractice testimony and hiding behind the whole I am chosen thing.
For Nigerians, everything is funny.
Yeah,
they make content out of it, and they make money out of it at the end of the day, just like you said. So, well, this is the much that we have for you on the front pages of the newspaper today. Well, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, it's that time that we all have been waiting for, which is the phone-in segment. Don't go anywhere.